How y'all doing? This is Easy Work Boxing. About to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell. Please subscribe to the channel. Now, this video, I'm sure is going to upset a lot of people. I'm sure it's going to upset a lot of people, but I have to bring the truth. I have to talk about this because this hurt my feelings when I watched it. Even though I knew the truth, but when you're in denial and once you see the truth and you can't deny it, you know, it's time to go and open your eyes and admit what's going on. Mr. Mike Tyson. Now, in this video, I will be talking about Mike Tyson, and you see, I am talking about the real truth of Mike Tyson. And the real truth of Mike Tyson is that Mike Tyson is nothing more than a character, like most of the entertainers that we watch today. Most of Mike Tyson fights were, staged. A lot of people took dives in order for Mike Tyson to be the popular fighter that he was. One of the questions I asked myself is, why? In my opinion, Mike Tyson was chosen. Mike Tyson just didn't end up in a juvenile detention center and he just became a boxer. I feel that Mike Tyson was chosen. Now, if you watch Mike Tyson missing rounds, which I made a video about that, if you've seen that video, you will understand and see that clearly Mike Tyson was pushed up to the top by stage fights. So, with that being said, I decided to make a video. I've been doing research, watching videos all day about Mike Tyson. And I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to reveal the true Mike Tyson. So for those that are going to be mad, this is not hate towards Mike Tyson. If Mike Tyson sees this video, my brother, this isn't hate towards you because I am not God. You have to deal with what you're going to deal with. But one thing I like to do on my channel is tell the truth. And I have to do that. So we're going to start off this video. This is a video with Teddy Atlas on Joe Rogan's show. Now, first I want to say fair use notice. This is not a hate speech. This is not anything negative. This is just my opinion, and this is not to harm or intent to downgrade or, slander anybody. This is just a video, freedom of speech, fair use notice.
Because your man's going to pull it up.
Now, hold up. Now, talking about the fact that Mike Tyson had fixed fights. Talking about the fact that for years, people were paid to see Mike Tyson go out there and knock people out, not knowing that Mike Tyson literally staged fights. People never understood that. But this is Teddy Atlas, a man who was in his career, early in his career. And listen to what he has to say. Now, also, I'm going to say this. Me personally, with the Customato, I think Mike Tyson was brainwashed. I know for a fact now that Mike Tyson was literally handpicked to be the boxer that he is. And I have evidence, which I'm going to show you. So I don't want y'all to think I'm just talking and I ain't going to walk it. You understand me? But this is how we're going to do it. Let's listen to Mr. Teddy Atlas.
But let's just say it's 50-6. All right, we'll say 5. 15-5, but whatever. I think his record is truly, if you're going to be this, and we're not truly in life with anything, but if we're truly in an absolute world, which we don't live in, but I would say he's 0-5. All right, now everyone who's listening to you think it's just like, let me get what Teddy's drinking. Like, I don't see him drink.
Do you hear that? This is a man that's been in his career since he first started boxing. He said that even if his record is 50-6, he's only had 5 real fights. This is what he's saying. I'm sorry to stop, but I just had to verify and clarify that for you.
Thinking nothing, but he probably had something before he came in. To me, a fight is not a fight until there's resistance, until there's something to overcome. Something to overcome.
A fight is not a fight until there's resistance. Common sense, in any fight, there's resistance. If he's saying that, he's saying that the opponents that Mike had didn't come out there to win. That's basically what he's saying.
Otherwise, it's just an athletic venture. It's an exhibition.
It's an exhibition.
I think life is that. I think that you don't know if a lawyer is a lawyer until there's something to overcome in a courtroom. Something goes wrong. Okay?
Listen.
I know he's a lawyer. I know
Listen.
I get it. Nobody has to
Listen.
tell me that.
Listen.
But he ain't a lawyer. He ain't that. Until everything goes wrong, the judge throws all this crap out, and he is effed, so to speak. And he figures, and he still handles it. Then he's a lawyer. A doctor's not a doctor till he opens up this kid, a kid, just like he's got at home, and arteries are bleeding all over the place.
As usual, we know Teddy Atlas is going beyond what he is saying. But if you literally have common sense, you can break down what he's saying. A fighter that is 50-6, which he has really, you could say, been in his life since he started boxing. He was one of the first people that he met since Mike Tyson started boxing. This man is simply telling you that if his record is 50-6, that he only had 5 fights really. He only had 5 fights really. You just heard this now out of my mouth, out of Teddy Atlas' mouth. All right. Now let me go to the drawing board of what I wrote down. Because y'all know when I go in, I have to write it down. All right, now, automatically, one thing that made me suspicious about this whole situation when I seen one particular person, and a lot of people may not know this person, but you may remember him from the Tupac situations. What up, Eric? You may remember him from the Tupac situations, Mr. Jimmy Henchman. I saw Jimmy Henchman hanging with Mike Tyson and Zab Judah at a press conference. And when I saw Jimmy Henchman, I was like, oh, red flag, red flag, red flag. Now, make sure I got the first one, the right one. Yeah, this is the first one. Now, the next question I want to ask. Teddy Atlas is a neutralizer. What's up, Boxing Learning? Teddy Atlas is a neutralizer. Teddy Atlas knows the ins and outs of boxing. Teddy Atlas knows that boxing is rigged. Teddy Atlas knows that Mike Tyson's career was rigged. But Teddy Atlas is a neutralizer. What I mean by a neutralizer is Teddy Atlas is a person that picks out the wrongs in boxing to make you believe that he's a legit and fair person in boxing. But Teddy Atlas knows that boxing is corrupt and is none other than any other form of entertainment. So for those who really out there that think that Teddy Atlas is just this guy who just tells the truth and, oh, it's a robbery, I don't like this, that's what he's there for. Basically, him and Malignaggi are the same people. Teddy Atlas is there to neutralize, to keep it on a common denominator, basically. To say it's good and bad in boxing. That's what Teddy Atlas is for. But Teddy Atlas is in the game himself. He knows Mike Tyson's fights were rigged. Now, y'all forgive me when I break down this video. It's certain stuff that I wrote down. It may not all line up at the same time, but just work with me. Just work with me. No, that's not what I'm saying, Rosario. But let's go on. Now, the questions I have wondered. Mike Tyson goes to the detention center. He meet Customato, Bobby Stewart. He meet the Bobby Stewart, former boxer who introduced him to Customato, right? But when I'm reading and I'm researching and I'm listening, why is it that Muhammad Ali came to the detention center where Mike Tyson was? And I got a clip and I timed it and everything so I can make sure you see it, that Mike Tyson clearly states that Muhammad Ali is the reason I got into boxing. What made Muhammad Ali pick that detention center to go to? And for the record, I'm finna show it now for those that may think I'm just making up stories. Let me go back and check mine.
It's not the.
All right, y'all give me a second. I'm trying to make sure I get back to everything. And I
Don't overpay for Best Buy.
And I show what I'm talking about.
Going in and out like a slot machine.
Let me see, 2647. 26.
But Joe, let's say you can run, but you can't have. So all I do is bring the prophecy to those words to reality. Ali got me into boxing. I was just.
Okay, here you go. Did you hear what he just said? Ali got me into boxing. Now you got to remember, he's a child at a detention center at this time. Now, true enough, people could say, hey, Muhammad Ali wanted to go do some good work and go, go to the community and help the young guys that's out there that's messing up. But why did he just pick the detention center that Mike Tyson just so happened to be at? Just think about that. That's all I'm saying. Just think about it. He just picked this detention center of all he could have went to. And just so happened, the future heavyweight champion of the world is in this detention center.
Let's do another place in the Bronx. And Ali came with it. And when I saw him, I said, I want to be champion of the world. I mean, just like him. Everyone can be Michael Jordan, a world heavyweight champion, all that. Or else, a brain surgeon, which probably I could be, though. But,
Okay, I also want to say this. This video will not be monetized. If you do want to donate to the channel, please go to the front of the channel. I have Cash App, PayPal. If you want to donate, just ask, nickel, dime, quarter, penny, because this video, when I make these videos, I don't get paid for them. So I really don't like to do these videos, but sometimes you just got to come on out and tell the truth, man. But if you like to donate for these videos, please go to the front of the channel. You'll see what to donate. But he's clearly telling you right there. This is not coming out of my mouth. For those that may be angry when you see the video, I'm not saying nothing. All I'm doing is using my common sense and going behind what I'm seeing, what I'm being told, what's coming out of their mouths, his mouth.
It's like, man, every ethnic group takes pride in their heroes. We have no heroes.
Now I also want to say this. When he fought Buster Douglas, he was out of shape. He was clearly not the fight. You could see clearly in the press conferences that his face was fatter, that he was not trained, and they even tell you that he was not trained. Now, I honestly believe that Mike Tyson had handlers. And by handlers, people who are conscious, you will understand what I'm saying, and those who are not. Handlers are people who are put in position clearly for you, clearly to run you. They're like a babysitter. They babysit grown people, but they keep that person in line from exposing things or saying things or doing things that's not in what that's not supposed to be said. That's basically what a handler is. Now, I wrote down some names of some handlers that I feel was in Mike Tyson's life to be his handler. Customato. You think about this house that Customato got all the way out in the middle of nowhere. I think Customato was a handler of Mike Tyson. I think that he brainwashed Mike Tyson. That's why he picked that environment to move somebody far out away from different people or from other people. So I think that Customato was his first handler. His second handler was Robin Givens. And Lord, should I go in on Robin Givens, I'll be going all night. But all I want to say is one clear part. If you remember anything about Mike Tyson, and even in the movie, his trainer told him, I'm about as pregnant as, no, Robin is about as pregnant as I am. Now, a lot of people won't understand that. You're probably going to say that, oh, Robin just wasn't pregnant. But if you know my channel and you know what I talk about, just think about that and use your common sense. Robin is as about as pregnant as I am. He's a man. He can never be pregnant. So think about that. The third handler was Don King. Don King, yes. Now, Don King was literally put into boxing to drain black fighters' pockets. Common sense should tell you that Don King has been convicted of murder twice. You know, not to bash Don King. I respect him. He a hustler. You know, he came out of whatever he had to environment he had to come out of, and he had where he had. Now, I don't condone being a shyster and, you know, cutting people's throat and taking people's money. I'm not with that. I'm not saying that. But what I can say is that understanding this world and realizing that you really can't get nothing unless you become that type of person, I respect it. But I'll never become that person. So that's why I say I respect it. But, you know, he been in the streets, he did his thing. And basically he was put up front just to rob black fighters. That's all he was there for. They gave him a platform to rob black fighters. They gave him Don King Promotions to rob black fighters. So, oh, I'm not talking about that. Hold on, why was Tyson? One of the questions I want to ask was, why was Mike Tyson really locked up? Why was he really locked up? I've been asking that. I've been watching videos all day to try to see. I can't really see why he was really locked up, of no other than maybe it was the blindfold or another bigger situation that they were doing, or something else to talk about for the public. You know, Mike Tyson at that time was one of the biggest stars in the world, you know, like Michael Jordan. So if the news will read something about Mike Tyson, the whole world will be blinded by it. But I can't find a legitimate reason, like, is there something he didn't want to do? Is there something he said no to? I can't find that for him to have to be locked up for that. So I'm thinking that, and which, let me say this, whenever you see a cartoon drawing of a court case, it's fake. Because they can easily just take a picture while they're in court. When you see cartoon drawings, it's fake. So I already know that the situation that even happened with him supposedly raping this girl, it never happened. Mike Tyson's whole backstory was created. It's literally pictures, literally video, which I will show, I will try to show if I don't forget, that people are reading off cue cards, talking about memories of them hanging with Mike Tyson. If you have a memory, you don't need to read off a cue card. And you will clearly see that they're reading off cue card. But let me go on. What else am I talking about? When Mike Tyson Mayor Givens, he stopped training at custom model gym he wanted. Now, also, this also proves that Robin Givens was a handler. Because once Michael got with her, he called and said that he didn't want to train in custom model gym no more. He wanted to train at his mansion. Now, the guy who was supposed to have been training him said he didn't want to do that. He felt uncomfortable doing that. And plus, he wanted to train what Cuss's spirit was. So that right there alone tell you that Robin was literally put there into Mike Tyson's life to handle him. It wasn't love. It wasn't nothing like that. An 8-month relationship should tell you it wasn't love. So she was literally put into his life to handle him, to be his handler. That's all it was, to break him. See, Don King and Robin Givens both, they were there to break him. Mentally and financially. They were there to break him. A lot of people don't know this, and you can check this out. You can go to Laugh at First Sight. Laugh at First Sight. This is a video where a guy was talking about Mike Tyson fighting Lennox Lewis. Now, when Custom Model talks about the real 5 fights that Mike Tyson had, those fights are the real fights that he had. And Mike Tyson was drugged against Lennox Lewis. By drug, no, nobody shot him with an arrow when he was drugged. No, they made Mike Tyson, even in the contract, write and say that he must take medication before the fight. When you see that in that fight, Mike Tyson is not punching, not jabbing, he's just standing there, it's because he's high off medication. So when you see Lennox Lewis take all the credit for defeating Mike Tyson, it's sad as hell, because he knows that in that contract, they made this man take medication during that fight. That's why that wasn't the same Mike Tyson. And I'm not trying to advocate Mike Tyson. I'm not trying to make the public feel any sorry for Mike Tyson. I'm just telling the truth. In that fight, he was literally on drugs, depressants, because Lennox Lewis made him take them. So that's why when they're saying Mike Tyson won't throw a punch, it's because he was high. That's why he wouldn't throw. When you ever seen Mike Tyson in any fight where he wouldn't throw a punch? He was high off medication. Now let me see. Mike Tyson. I gotta see what clip this is. Fallen Champ. Let me go back to this clip because I wrote it down. Mike Tyson. Fallen Champ. Fallen Champ. Have you ever seen that movie? Have you ever seen that movie? Fallen.
What the hell happens to this guy?
By Denzel Washington. That's a good movie to watch if you have never watched that movie. I just want to tell y'all that if you've never watched Fallen by Denzel Washington, that is a great movie. But where was it? 42. 42. 42:59. Okay.
You know, the mother-in-law had a game plan. The game plan was to get Mike Tyson on the field, march the ball up the field, score the touchdown. End of game, they march away with the ball and the money and fame and fortune and all that.
Don King looked on Mike Tyson's marriage as his opportunity, giving him advice and counsel on how to take Mike over, and how to make problems of various kinds for me.
But the women, being shrewd and greedy and smart on the one side, the criminal smartness.
Oh, let me see. Let me check out this clip, 10:16. I don't really know what that clip was about. 10:16. Now, what I'm finna show you now in this clip, this is the clip of where I'm telling you that Mike Tyson's whole entire background was made up. Now, you're going to clearly see this guy in this video reading off a cue card, but he's expressing his memories and his feelings towards Mike Tyson. Now, anybody with common sense would know that. If you're talking about your memories and your feelings towards a person, you don't have to keep looking down. You don't have to keep pausing. You can just express how you feel. But you will clearly see that this guy's reading off a cue card.
He was fun. And it's easy to fool, too. It's easy to goof on and fool. And so it made it look cute. You know, like some big guy, you're fooling them and stuff.
You see he look down? What y'all think he looking down at? The camera ain't down there. The person he's talking to is not down there.
And he was a lovable guy in ways. He was hugging people and stuff. And he needed that, too.
I'm gonna take that back so you can clearly see what he was doing. Watch now.
And it's easy to fool, too. It's easy to goof on and fool. And so it made it look cute. You know, like some big guy, you're fooling them and stuff. And
Why is he looking down? He's reading, y'all.
he was a lovable guy in ways. He was hugging people and stuff. And he needed.
Look back down again and then continue to talk. You don't have to look down and look everywhere to remember what a person does or a person that you've been around.
He needed that, too.
He comes out of a boys' home. He comes to Caxton. There are people who are friendly. And there's no one saying, okay, I just fed you.
All right, now Bobby Stewart. And I also seen this in a Bobby Stewart video once. I ain't sure about this, y'all. I'm not sure. But I once seen Bobby Fischer saying that when he first met Mike Tyson, he said that Mike Tyson gave him a body shot that made him realize that Mike Tyson was 100, like basically a legit fighter. Now I hear in another video that he's saying that it was a jab. Was it a jab or was it a body shot? Which punch was it that made you realize that Mike Tyson was legit as a fighter? Elbow, I'm getting the info off watching videos. Another question I gotta ask is this, y'all, too.
This one, you say.
Another question I gotta ask. Customato. Sound like an Italian name, don't it? Customato. Was Customato affiliated with the mob? Customato had two champions before Mike Tyson, Floyd Patterson, and I can't think of the other guy's name. How is it that a guy that got a house out in the country is connected enough to get you a title shot? Hey, George. George, you need to call me too. How is it that a guy living out in the woods, in the boondocks, how is it that he's connected enough to get you a title shot? Unless he was connected to the mafia in some form. I'm just saying. Oh, also, it's an amateur fight. I forgot to write the time down. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to write the time down exactly of when or I show the footage of this fight, an amateur fight, where you can clearly see Teddy Atlas is calling Customato and saying, "Oh, we broke a record." It was I think 80 seconds until the first round, 90 seconds until the first round in an amateur fight, where you clearly see a guy laying on his butt and then falls on his back and then acts like he can never get up again when Mike Tyson fight him in the amateurs. That was clearly a stage fight. And that was in the amateurs. It started from the amateurs, not just in the pros. And you can clearly go check that out. Star Fox, if you come in or if you watch this video over, you will understand that all that is nothing but a story. All right, let me keep going because I got about 2 more sheets of paper. Well, all right. You will also see that you could tell that Tyson fights were staged because I think he would get so frustrated that the fight was staged that he would actually try to hit his opponents when they were going down for him. You would see Tyson get angry at times and still try to attack them while they're on the ground. And I think that came from him being upset by the fact, realizing that these fights are rigged. And he really trains to go out there and hurt people. But basically, Mike Tyson was nothing more than a character boxer. He was an actor that was a boxer. I'm going to get into all that Buster fight. Mike Tyson. Oh, and this is another thing. Fallen Champs. Fallen Champs. This is a video, this is a clip right here that will show you that his background was clearly made up and that his marriage to Robin Givens was nothing more than a sham and was bullshit. Let me get to this clip. All right, now in this clip, you're going to clearly see her state something that is not even real. This is something that she slipped on even from his background. She wasn't coached right. So let's listen.
They want to make him out of a beast that he's claimed to be. He's going to be in there with a beast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man known as the Eastern Assassin, former heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes!
The last warm and friendly meeting I had with Mike.
Just listen now.
Holmes fight. For the Holmes fight, Mike was going with 3 girls. He seemed to be semi-serious about 3 women. This was Miss America, Robin, and a very gorgeous model. We put one in one section, one in the second section, one in the third section, completely separated. And sat there, we talked about it, we laughed about it. And when he left, I started saying, "Where are you going now, Mike?" He said, "I'm going to the coast." Those were the last things he said to me prior to his being married to Robin.
Robin, inquiring minds want to know how does a woman who went to Sarah Lawrence, Harvard Medical School, wind up falling in love with a guy who's a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks?
God, I want to know too. There's something, we have a lot in common, traditional families, and we just sort of love each other. We sort of
Traditional families. traditional families. This your husband, and you talking dumb as hell. Because Mike Tyson mama died when he was a teenager, and he never really knew his damn father. What's traditional about that? Is that traditional? Let me remind that again. Let me rewind that for the dumbass people. Please donate to the channel.
Want to know, how does a woman who went to Sarah
Please donate to the channel.
School wind up falling in love with a guy who's a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks?
God, I want to know too. There's something we have a lot in common. Traditional families, and we just sort of love each other. We sort of love at first sight. It was hard at the beginning, but we got through it.
Traditional family values. This coming from a dude that grew up poor without a father, and his mother died when he was a teenager. He stayed with Customato, who he called his father. What traditional values did he get from that? From growing up in poverty? From being juvenile? What traditional lifestyle did he learn?
And we ended up married.
Well, just 3 weeks after the marriage, I got a call from Robin. I'm Mrs. Mike Tyson, and I'm taking over. I demand this, and I demand this. I said, wait a minute.
We welcome you back to Live at 5, Robin. This Sports Illustrated article is
She was lying the entire time.
Suggests that you and your mother,
She was nothing more than a hammer.
that you were meddling too much in life's career.
Right. That's absurd. First of all, Michael's wife. And not only that, but we're family. I mean, my mother has become his mother. An incident happened, and we noticed a discrepancy with Michael's money. That's what sort of opened up everything. If Michael has $50 million and he's supposed to have $70 million, there's a problem.
In a way, Robin.
She was more focused on the money than anything.
The mother-in-law had a game plan. The game plan was to get Mike Tyson on the field, punch the ball up the field, score the touchdown, end of game.
Now, also this, before he ever had the situation going on, before he got the court case of the rape case, in the headlines, they were already putting out to the public that Mike Tyson was a womanizer, that he was enjoying himself around all the women at the pageant. You clearly see clips of this girl who supposedly claimed that he raped her, that them two are standing by each other, and you see the camera, the light is clearly on the girl that they saying that he accused of raping. So it's clearly seeing like it all was staged. Like from the beginning, all the camera was on her. She was laughing at Mike Tyson and all this and that. But then he ended up raping.
Fame, fortune,
Don King looked on Mike Tyson's marriage as his opportunity, giving him advice and counsel on how to take Mike over, and how to make problems of various kinds for me.
But the women, being shrewd and greedy.
Also this. They went from calling him, I was seeing, then they also contradict the story of how he grew up. I seen a video where they were saying that Mike Tyson was known from borough to borough in Brooklyn, this, that, and the other, that he was known for robbing and taking this and that. But then you hear Customato and them come across and say that he was scared, he used to hide in between walls, he used to get bullied, but then in another video, he was a bully, he went around robbing, he took everything from everybody. Everybody knew Mike. But then in another video, oh, he was a guy that was scared of everybody, he had fear. What you seen, he was crying a lot in most of his videos before he fought. So was he a bully or was he a scared fighter?
Martin, they said to themselves, Don King, we don't need him. We don't need, we're gonna have him, he's gonna take our money. We don't need him. We're gonna take all the money we can get now.
From Cincinnati, Ohio, he is the second-ranked heavyweight in the world and a former heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm sorry, y'all.
Challenger.
I'm sorry for this. I'm getting confused.
My mission is to go and destroy and not to let anything get involved. You get punched, you get hurt, I refuse to be hurt, knocked down, and knocked out. I can't lose. I refuse to lose. You saw behind my shoulder there his co-manager, Bill Caton. For the first time since Mike's been fighting as a professional, the other co-manager, Jim Jacobs, has not been able to make this trip.
Funeral services were held at Hillside Memorial
But
Cemetery.
y'all, I'm gonna have to talk a little bit with the volume up on this. I'm gonna have to end this video kind of short.
There were shouting matches.
I'm gonna have to end this kind of short, y'all. But basically, it all comes down to this. Mike Tyson is not who you think he is. Mike Tyson is nothing more than a character who played undisputed champion. That's basically all Mike Tyson is. He's not what we think he was. He's not the person that we thought he was. It's all portrayed. It's all fake. It's all made up. His fights were staged. His background was staged. He only had 5 real fights. He didn't win those. And that's basically all it is. This is not a video to bash him. This is not a video to dog Mike Tyson. It's basically just telling people the truth about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a fake boxing superstar. His fights were staged. He wasn't the person that we thought he was. He never raped anybody. He never went to jail for raping anybody. All the videos that you see of him raping and having an interview in jail, all the videos happen in the same shirt, the same pants. So they literally, from every channel that you see that interview him in jail, all happened in one day. Mike Tyson was never in prison. I know it's hard to believe because they show you footage of him in handcuffs and he was never in no prison. Where is one person that said he was in prison with Mike Tyson? Where's one person, regular person, that said he was in prison with Mike Tyson? And it's been years ago. Somebody been in jail with him if he was there. Where are the people that, where are the regular people who are supposed to be in jail with all of these celebrities that go to jail? Where are they at? Nobody has ever said, hey, I was in jail with this person and has valid proof. Valid proof. All those are fake, bro. I'm not finna go into all that. I just gave you valid proof and videos not coming out of my mouth. I'm not lying on him. They just told you. People who are around, just use your common sense and dictate, I mean, not dictate, but follow through what you're watching and use your own mind and you determine what it is that you see. But, you know, that's all I made the video for, you know, just to let the public know Mike Tyson is not the man that we think he is. And I was very disappointed by finding out that boxing is just another form of entertainment. I already knew, but I was in denial. And once you see something for what it is, you can't be in denial. No, I'm sorry. That's basically why I made the video. Like I said, please comment on the channel. Please like, please subscribe, please donate to the channel. This video won't be monetized because anything controversial, they won't monetize. So if you want to keep these videos going, please donate to the channel. This is Easy Work Boxing. I'm out.